I've got a question for you, and I'd like you to put it in the comments below. When do you think the Bank of Canada is going to start bringing rates down again? I've heard a few people tell me at the end of this year, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen. A lot of people are talking mid-2023. Some people think it's going to take till 2024. I'd like to know what you think, and bonus points if you put the month, not just the year. We'll come back to this video in the future and see who is right. But today's video is not just about rates. We're going to look over an article that came out recently by BlogTO where they said experts said that the Toronto market is in for even a bigger downfall than we expected, and try to figure out where they're pulling this information from. And if you're getting your real estate news only from BlogTO, I think look elsewhere as well. We're also going to talk about the current condo market in Toronto, specifically the downtown condo market. I've now run the most recent numbers month by month and included July. So everything is in there. We're going to run through where the market was, where it is now, and where I think it could go in the future. And then we're going to talk about what's happening right now on the ground level. We have several active listings on the market. We've got buyers that we're working with right now. And I want to run you through what I'm seeing as an active real estate agent actually doing it every single day. Thanks again for being here and watching this video. If you get any value at all watching these videos, if you click like and subscribe and ring that little bell if you want to be notified each time I put out more videos. Also, something really cool is we've been able to help a ton of people that watch these videos buy and sell so far this year in Toronto, and getting to know the viewers that I didn't get to know previously has been a really, really cool experience. So if you are looking to get into the market or sell, or is it the right time, I'll answer all those questions very transparently for you. You can book a call in the description, a buyer call, a seller call, or a call just to chat about the market. Final thing here, if you haven't already checked out the new podcast, it's called The Tom Storey Show. We have a new episode coming out every single Sunday. We got some amazing guests lined up. I really think you're going to enjoy these episodes. So whether you listen to it working out, driving, whatever, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you listen, it will be available. All right, so let's get into the first article that we're going to review on today's video. And again, this is from BlogTO. So my face is kind of in the way there, but it says experts say Toronto housing market is in for a way bigger downfall than expected, with a picture of Fort York and Lakeshore. Now, there's a few main points I want to hit on here, okay? So industry experts, and basically who they're talking about when they're saying that, is the RBC economist. So this is very similar to the video I posted on my last video, which was going over the RBC report and how they changed their predictions for what was going to happen. And they anticipated the biggest correction in history, but they were really talking about sales. But there's some good graphs actually that BlogTO shared here, which probably came from the previous report. Also, they've anticipated a cool down in the market this year. And though prices in the nation's biggest cities aren't really waning, which is basically Toronto, Vancouver, prices have come off, but by no means is real estate cheap now. Forecasts for what's going to happen next year are updated to reflect an even bigger fall than initially expected. Okay, so a few other things I want to show you this really cool graph. The major bank feels that future spikes in mortgage lending rates will be prohibitive to most would-be buyers, especially in British Columbia and Ontario, where affordability is extremely stretched. This will lead to a historic correction, especially in these places. Now, I'm going to get back to that because we had already talked about that big headline word, historic correction. This graph I thought was really good. So it's home resales, which means properties that actually sold on their way down from historic highs. So it takes us back to 2015. Now this is in hundreds of thousands of units on the side here. So about 500,000 in 2015, just above that in 16, back to the same in 2017, 18, you had below 500,000, 19, like they're all kind of hovering. Then 2020, we were just a shade under 600,000. Then we had that crazy year in 2021, right? Over 600,000 properties sold in the Canadian real estate market. The two next years here are the forecasts. So they're saying here that we're going back down to about 2019 levels of sales. And then after that, they're forecasting then 2023, we're going to go to a level that we haven't seen in the last like 7 or 8 years. So they think we're going to be just above 400,000, where that hasn't happened in a long time. Something I think is really interesting to bring up here, and I brought this up on the last video, is that when they're talking about this historic correction, they're talking about sales. They are saying that they think overall Canadian home prices are going to go down 12% from the peak, which I actually don't think is as much as they maybe should have with everything going on right now, considering just how fast they actually went up. And when they're showing the difference in sales, and what they're really pointing to is Interest rates have gone up. Yes, prices have come down, but not as much as they maybe would have needed to make real estate more affordable for people, especially in Ontario and British Columbia. Man, the rental market's going crazy. So yes, sales are coming down, but then all these people that would have been first-time home buyers are now renting a place. Our team put a property up for rent yesterday evening at 5 p.m. We had 13 showings booked on it in the first 4 hours, and 2 people sent us offers without even seeing it. So it's like, it's just shifting. The transactions are shifting. Is there interest for real estate? Yes, there's interest for real estate. Is it as high, crazy demand as it was previously? Of course not. Interest rates are not what they were. But just to give you an idea of like, those first-time home buyers are now flipping to renting. And the rental market has gone crazy in terms of demand, and the supply is just not there right now. I want to look over one other graph from this article here. So this one right here, it's the material price correction by 2023 annual percentage change in the aggregate benchmark price in Canada. So this is showing, compared to the previous year, what did prices do in Canada? So again, we're going back to 2015. This was a 5% increase in 2015. But 10%, 10%, 2018, 2019, 2 to 3% increase, Canada-wide. 2020, just under 10%. 2021, almost 20% higher than the previous year. So what you typically see here is when you have 2 big years of increases, because this is based on the previous year, then 2 small years, right? Because you can't really sustain that level of increase over time. And then you see these type of increases, yeah, you're going to have 2 years that are not the same. So they're still forecasting that Canadian prices year over year in 2022 might be up 10% from the last year. But when they forecast to 2023, they think we're going to be negative like 8 to 10% comparative to 2021. And then finally, they said it will also turn to lead to a 12% drop in the benchmark price across the country by the second quarter of 2023. But even more substantial declines are expected in hubs like Toronto. Now, for the rest of this video, I don't want to tell you about someone's predictions or something that we don't even know what's happening. I want to talk about what's happening right now in the market. Our team has several active listings on the market. We're working with a ton of buyers right now. And the one segment of the market that hasn't really changed, sales are definitely down, but the prices are still holding okay, is downtown condos, and I want to show you those numbers. All right, we're going to flip now to a graphic that was just put together by our marketing team, and I'm going to show you what's going on for downtown condos right now. Okay, so we're talking about CO1 and CO8. They're the biggest cluster of downtown condos. CO1 is west of Yonge Street to Liberty Village, north to Bloor, south to the water. It's the biggest cluster of condos in the entire city. CO8 is east of Yonge Street to the DVP, north to Bloor, and south to the water. Okay, so St. Lawrence Market is CO8. Distillery District is CO8. King West, Waterfront Communities, Liberty Village, that is all CO1. Okay, so let's take a look here. In CO1, the January price was $823. Now, this is average price just in the downtown core based on all property types. February jumped to $850. March was the peak. We are at $891. Now we are down to $796. So that's a pretty big drop down from $891. If you look where we're at from the beginning of the year, you can now buy a condo for less money than it would have cost you in January. Now, again, interest rates are much higher, so it's all relative to what you're looking at. If we look at the St. Lawrence condo market, $777 to start the year. $815, $865 was the peak here. So March looked like being the peak for the condo market, where February seemed to be the peak for the other property types for freehold property. And then when we get down to the bottom here, we're at $790. Now, something that I thought was interesting for CO8 is so far in July, we're about the same, if not slightly higher than June. So this is what is currently going on with condo prices. I do anticipate that you will see price drops at least for the next 2 months before potential stabilization as people get used to the rates by the end of the year. There's predictions. Everyone's got an opinion on the market. Prices are changing, all that. But like, what's actually happening with the consumer? Like, where's the consumer confidence at? I will tell you that showings on our listings have picked up dramatically actually in the past week. I don't know exactly what happened, but they've doubled from what they were the previous week. If I look at 8 of the properties we have on the market now, of those 8 sellers, 6 of them want to become buyers, but they want to list their property first because you always want to do what's more challenging first. And in this market, selling a property is more challenging than buying a property. So it's kind of the opposite of the issue we had at the beginning of the year. We are working with many buyers right now. They're actively out and making offers on properties. And we even ran to multiple offers the other day. So I'm not saying the market's going back this direction at all. I'm just saying, like, people seem to be okay and they think, okay, another rate hike could potentially come here. But we've got an understanding. Let's build that into our monthlies that if we're going to purchase now. And there's a lot of people I'm currently working with that are trying to jump up in the market right now, but they can't buy yet because they've got to sell. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the year, we were recommending to everybody, well, if you can buy first, buy, because you don't want to chase the market up by selling first. And now it's the flip. And the market just went from extreme seller's market to balanced market so quickly that we didn't really have that middle ground to try to figure out what was going on. But everyone I know putting properties on the market now, they're interested in selling and they are not delusional on what the prices are in today's market. Also, new inventory isn't as high as I maybe thought it was going to be, but we are having that rollover inventory. We will see by the end of the summer if sellers are not getting their price. Are they just going to take the property off the market? Are they going to rent it out? Are they going to wait till the fall? I've heard some whispers that people think the fall is going to be even more active. Nobody knows, but I will report to you as things are actively happening on this YouTube channel when the market's kind of shifting back a little bit here. But as of right now, we're firmly in a balanced market. About 25 to 30% of new listings are actually selling in the first month that they're on the market. That number was over 90% in February. And it seems like there's like a calming now, which I think is a good thing. Thanks again for watching this video. A little bit of a longer one, just kind of wanted to put a few thoughts out there. Condos are down, but holding percentage-wise better than other property types. Rental market is extremely insane right now. Buyers and sellers are trying to do things in this market, and the people putting their properties on the market are not expecting February prices anymore like they maybe would have in April, May, June as things were shifting. And people are going to put out scary headlines because it's great clickbait. So just keep that all in mind. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have an amazing day. My name is Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.